Hey, welcome to my channel, for Truth. All right, what am I talking about today? I want you to think hard and think long before you get out of your position with XRP and the utility coins, particularly what we call the ISO blockchain native assets, such as XRP, XLM, Algorand, Quant, Cardano, and the rest. And then there's others like Axela that are not they are not working directly with the banking and non-banking financial institutions like Axela and the rest of them, like Solana and so on and so forth. Before you exit your position, because a lot of people are who have had experience in the crypto space have made money from Bitcoin, or they've learned about Bitcoin and the 4-year cycles. And they believe that this is another 4-year cycle with Bitcoin's bull run, leading the bull run. They are right, partially correct, okay? Partially right, partially, it's half true. Why do I say this? Because we're in a completely different era. This is the first time a president of the United States, the House of Representatives would declare a crypto week, will be legislating over crypto. This is the first time that people like Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink of BlackRock and Jamie Dimon of what's the other bank now, right? JP Morgan would be in support of crypto. Like, these are people who called it a pet rock, who called it a useless thing, like a scam or whatever. And now they're all involved. And we know that they were stacking all along. If you're new to crypto, I wrote a book just for you. If you're looking for information to grow, to learn, go into my description, download the book, Crypto Made Easy. Buy, store, and grow your investment with confidence. Also, there's a second book that came out on the 15th. It's also there, Cryptocurrencies. The future of banking, finance, and value transfer is here. Those two books, $19.99 each. I also have an audio for the first one, $19.99. You can get a deal on them. Just go to the store in the description and enjoy yourself. All right. Okay, so what am I talking about today? Think long and hard before you let go of your position. I'm not saying don't take profit. In my book, I recommend a 3 or 4 bag strategy where you have a swing trade bag if you're not a daily day trader. I don't day trade. I don't do any of that stuff. I would prefer to swing trade, particularly for the kind of assets that I'm holding, that I've invested in. And I'm not a whale. I'm a middle class guy who has put a little bit away, because you don't want to invest what you can lose. Don't bet the farm. Now, if you have not invested at all and you are looking for an opportunity, this is your opportunity. And the window is closing. The window is closing. So let me say a few things here. I have some notes written. Friends, you see, you have to understand XRP and how it's meant to operate. For you to understand XRP, go back to email. You see, we used to post letters before. I remember as a kid, we'll go to the post office with my parents and my dad particularly, and I would be licking stamps for him to put, the further the letter would go, the more the stamps you have to purchase. And one day, all of that disappeared. There's still post offices now, but they're not what they used to be, where you're like, oh, that's the post office, And now you probably see some building that used to be the post office is no longer the post office. The post office thing is there. Somebody else is using it. And but you find that the post office is in places like Shoppers Drug Mart and in some of these places, right, sharing space in a little corner, slowly becoming extinct. Why? Because people don't really write letters, handwritten letters anymore. They're good for packaging and things like that. Email took over. What did we see with email? Fast, cheap, scalable, right? And in no time, like I said, it's fast. That's what we saw with email. The same thing happened with video. You had to go to Blockbuster. I've said this over and over in different, videos. But what I really want to get at today is that people should understand, so that you do not get rid of something that is generational wealth, in my opinion. Why and how? Listen. XRP is designed and built to solve a problem that's never been solved before. What is that problem? The problem of friction in finance, friction in the movement of money, which affects the delivery of goods and services. There is 27 trillion in nostro vostro held. And if you don't understand what that is, it's just the debit and credit that banks hold on behalf of their customers and clients in either bank. But as we continue, we see that this thing was created to solve a problem. And here's the thing. When you have an item, a technology, that is created to solve a problem, just like farmers in those days, right? I'm gonna show you this. I have this thing usually parked here. I store it in there. Like, this is a mower, right? I ride on it to mow my lawn. I park it in that little shed over there, but I just leave it here sometime. Rain come shine, it's there. It was created to solve a problem. The value in this thing is in the problem that it solves. When I sit here and I go on the acreage and I cut the grass, the value is in the problem that it solves. The pricing is in the problem that it solves. XRP's price will continue to rise as long as the problem it's solving continues to increase. What is that problem? As population increases, as the value of payments across the globe increases. Swift alone does over about 1.1 or 1.2 quadrillion. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, right? Check it for yourself. At least 1 quadrillion a year. And according to Brad Garlinghouse, they're going to take 14% of that by 2030. Now, that's over 140 trillion that will move over the XRP ledger. I have a course called the XRP Calculator. If you send me an email, I will give you a discount on the XRP calculator, a 50% discount. You watch that course I put together. It's a 2.5 hour set of videos, somewhere around 2 hours. And you will learn, you will see for yourself how this becomes a reality. And so if you're invested in XRP, XLM, XDC, they're all similar. They're going to do similar things. I don't have the time to get into that right now. We can do different videos for that. But the point is this: when something solves a problem, particularly now a global problem, and all banks in 180 to 200 countries and territories are connected, the value of that asset will skyrocket because it is solving a unique problem that has not been solved. Look at everything that has solved problems. Look at the automobile, right? Horses and carriages at one time, all gone. Now the Amish still have it, and people still use it for fun and things like that. And sometimes on some farms, to move things around. But that's not what it is, and maybe for sport. But automobile industry exploded GDP, exploded value, because it solved the problem of transportation. This is going to solve the problem of the transportation of money that is over 145 years old. While the world has moved on, population has increased, more mouths to feed, more houses to build, more roads to build, more waterways to chart, and all of that. What happens? The banking system has become aged, sluggish, and tired. And now here comes a technology that is going to completely change that. So you have to understand how these particular utility cryptos work. Bitcoin has no utility. It's a glorified meme coin, and it has made people wealthy. Anything, Shiba Inu made people wealthy. Anything can make people wealthy, but if it has no utility, its future is dependent on the ones that have utility. I've told you in about 2 or 3 videos and on one of my lives that Bitcoin itself requires spend the bits. In El Salvador, why did other countries not adopt Bitcoin as a currency like El Salvador did? It's valuable. I owned a little bit of Bitcoin, but I sold it, and I'm going to buy Bitcoin when things go well with XRP. I'll put a little bit in Bitcoin. But the future, really, it's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a future. For those who have made a lot of money from it, you can hold on to it and keep going. But if you spend 10,000 today, people who bought XRP last year, put 5,000 in XRP, they know where they are today. And those who bought it 20 cents years ago, they know where. I mean, all the Bitcoin maxis, where are they now? They're quiet. This thing is going to skyrocket, I'm telling you, and people are going to be shocked. I woke up, in around 4:30 a.m., and I picked up my phone, and I was, going to the washroom, and there was news regarding XRP that it had gone to $4.44 or 45 Canadian dollars. I'm like, no, that is, and the text was that it was, it was Coinbase, sending an alert that this was the highest in 90 days. Well, we're going to see something happen. It's going to a new all-time high. And I'm telling you, having a double digit this year for XRP is now nearer in sight than we could ever imagine. And I've told my channel, those of you who've been watching my videos, that I expect a 3-digit XRP by the end of this year. So 3-digit can be anything from $100 to $200. People say, well, market cap. Stop that. We've talked about that over and over and over. Commodities do not respond to market cap the way you know. Gold has a market cap that doubled in the last 1.5 years. Nobody's complaining. People say, oh, well, how can it be worth more than all the companies or all the commodities? Well, because that's what it is. And one last thing I'm going to say, and this is important. By its value is going to go up by reason of the demand for it, right? And when that value goes up, what happens? It's actually, you can actually sell it. Countries can hold it. Governments can hold it. Institutions can hold it because it has value. And it is solving that problem on a continuous basis. It's a digital item, a digital commodity, a digital technology that solves a problem that nothing else has solved. And here we are. If you like what you've heard so far, please like, subscribe, comment, join the channel. All right, it's $5.11 per month to be a member of the channel, and we'll have member live streams only and things like that. Well, God bless. I'll see you guys in the next one.